Well, hello everybody. Well, you won't believe where I am tonight. I'm at Mace Manor, which is in Blackwood, and I am in the process of getting ready to host the Best of Welsh Business Awards, which is happening for the first time this evening, which is quite exciting. It's quite a privilege, really, to be asked to do something like that. But I thought I'd take a minute, as I'm in a different venue, and I've got 5 minutes before it's due to start, to try and do the second of my Facebook Live sessions. So somebody asked me the other day why I'm doing them. So I thought I'd better let you know, really. I do quite a lot of talks to women's groups, WI meetings and all that kind of thing about the work that I do. So why I became a celebrant, what a celebrant means, and the different options that you've got, different choices you can make. Because I believe passionately in people having the chance to make choices, informed choices about the way that they celebrate these major milestones in their lives. And so I thought, if I'm doing this to different groups all the time, why don't I actually try and do it to all of the people that I link with on Facebook as well, and see whether that works out for people. So hence, I'm giving this a bit of a go. It may work, it may not work, but thank you very much for spending a little bit of time listening to what I'm saying and feeding back to me. It's really helpful. So, I left last time with a bit of a background as to why the journey, if you like, my professional journey, the different jobs that I've done over the years. So we kind of got myself to the state where I was working as a registrar at the weekends, job in the week. I was loving being part of people's weddings, really enjoyed being part of their special day. But it was a bit frustrated with the fact that I never met them beforehand, that it all felt a bit false, really, that I was trying to put across this great persona of friendliness and warmth and great joy at their union when I'd never met them before. And also, I could be saying the same words time after time after time. So I started looking around for different alternatives to see if there was something else that I could be doing, some other way that people could be celebrating their wedding days, it started off as being. And I came across an article. You know, in women's magazines, you quite often get the I changed my life at 50 kind of article. So I came across one of those, and it was just before I was coming up to 50, so quite opportune, really, in that way. And it was a lady who had retrained as a registrar, who had retrained as a celebrant. And it was kind of the first time I'd come across the idea, really. And it wasn't a very long article, had a bit of information, and she seemed to be making a go of it. And it kind of stuck with me as an idea, so I tore that page out and kept it with me, but didn't do anything more about it. Then a friend of mine's son died. It was unexpected, he was 24, and it was a big shock to everybody. And this friend asked if I would work with him to create a funeral for his son. So he wanted it to be based on the Buddhist ceremony, but to be really personal, really flexible, and to reflect all of the different interests that this young man had, and to have room for everybody, all of his friends, to be able to make comments and to show the impact that he'd had on all of their lives. I was deeply, deeply touched, really nervous, but we worked together and created what I think was a fantastic ceremony. Suddenly all went quiet then, all the background noise went down, so I'm shouting in the middle of the hotel. So we created a beautiful ceremony that took place at a natural burial ground, and had so many elements that were personal to this young man. There was so much laughter, there was indeed tears, there was space for people to be able to walk and to share their conversations and memories with each other. And it really struck me at that point that this was a fantastic way for people to be able to celebrate the life. It was such a shock that it had been cut short. So I'm deeply, deeply privileged to have been able to do that ceremony. And every single time I do a funeral ceremony now, I think of that young man with gratitude for the change that he made in my life. There I am, thinking, right, I've done weddings for years. I'm sure I could do something about writing them. I've shown I can do a funeral. Maybe I need to look at the training aspect. And I started doing a bit more research into the different groups that were around and what was on offer. And I decided to go with a group called the UK Society of Celebrants. I could do online training. So it meant it was distance learning. I was working full time, so that was a great option. And it also meant that actually there was a group that supported each other. So although we're all independent, we all act on our own, we all create our own ceremonies, if I knew that if there's something happened to me, something meant that I couldn't do a ceremony, then that'd be fine, because one of my colleagues would step in. Somebody would come to my rescue, if you like. So if I broke my leg and couldn't get to a wedding, one of my colleagues would step in. Likewise, I would step in and support any of my colleagues and deliver their ceremony on their behalf if needed. And that seemed to be something really important to me. So I started doing my training, loved doing it, fought against it a little bit, which is my own tendency of thinking I'm never good enough. But I loved doing it, and it was a fantastic opportunity to be given the most awkward or difficult situations, the most emotional situations to be dealing with, to write ceremonies around. I think probably the most difficult thing I tried to do was to write a funeral ceremony for my mother. I gave up on that one after a while because it was just too much like hard work. But yeah, it was a fantastic opportunity and such a good grounding, and it gave me the real confidence to know that whatever situation I was in, I would be able to connect with the family, connect with the couple, and find the right way, for the right words for them. I think for me, a celebrant should be finding the way for other people to express what they want to express. So I might be doing all of the talking, not necessarily the case, but I might well be doing all the talking, but actually it's giving expression to other people and the words that they want to use, the things that they want to say. So that's kind of my ethos that I've taken through all the way. Obviously, I love it when people book me to do their weddings or their funerals or naming ceremonies. But for me, the most important thing is that people know that they've got choices and that they can, who they connect with, who they feel really comfortable with, who offers them support and can come up with ideas and ways of celebrating whatever the occasion is that feel right to them. That is, I think I better call it a day there, because I can see that people are beginning to come around the red carpet now, and I don't want to be embarrassing them as they're coming, making them feel awkward, because this is their night. So I suppose I better go and check my lipstick and get myself ready for an evening of presenting awards to businesses of all different sorts. And it's exciting. I get asked to do all kinds of weird things now, which I wouldn't necessarily have thought I'd do before. So that's the second instalment, and then I think what I'm going to do over the next few sessions is to give a bit more background to the different options you might have at a particular kinds of ceremonies. So I'll probably do a bit of a focus on weddings, focus on funerals, and a lot more talking about naming ceremonies, because there seems to be a lack of knowledge that that's an option or what they are. So I will, do a few more of these. And I'm hoping you're liking my jewellery here. Fully made up tonight. You won't get the full makeup next time, I'm sure. Thank you very much for listening, and hopefully I'll speak to you soon. Take care.